while watching play, that's what he does. He likes to run in straight lines, runs away from the ball, and he wants to get shots off, bro. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like the IQ is not there, and that's why for me, Vinny's better. And I wouldn't sacrifice Vinny for Mbappe, never, because to me it doesn't make sense. Because what Mbappe gives you in terms of goals, I'd just be like, all right, cool. Like I would make my main focus getting a number 9 that's going to add more goals instead of getting another player that plays in Vinny's position. Because to me, it doesn't make sense, innit? So it's a great problem to have if you're a Real Madrid manager. Like, how do I fit Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinny, and Mbappe into the same team? And the chances are you can't. It's a weird one for him, you know, Mbappe, because it's gonna sound weird, but it's like, considering all the gas that he had earlier on, yeah, I don't know. So far, like, you have to look at his club career and say it's been pretty underwhelming. Like, he needs this Real Madrid move. Like, he actually needs it.
You know what it is? You're right. I'll be honest. Like there was a period that I think this summer would be the third summer that Madrid go in for him. I remember in the first summer, I looked at Mbappe and I was like, bro, like you got Messi, you got Neymar, like this is just the back of a Champions League final, which they lost to Bayern. I was like, listen, like maybe you can make PSG your team in it. Of course, like add a few better players and but you know what it is now? I think that whole PSG project is dead now. Like I think once Mbappe leaves, they're just going to sell the club, and I wouldn't be surprised if they take a year, 2, 3 years out of the game, and then they go back in and sign another club. They've been there for a decade now, and one whole decade they've spent over £1 billion, and they still haven't. All they've given up is what? One Champions League final in 10 years. Like at 10 attempts, one Champions League final. It's crazy. So everything hangs on Mbappe. I just pray that Madrid don't go in for him. I swear that would like be perfect for me if they don't go.
Yeah, it would humble him, and also I think it unbalances them if they sign him, to be honest, because I don't know, a lot of people won't agree with me, but I think Vinny's better. So it's one of them ones where I would not risk not getting the best out of Vinicius Jnr. by signing Mbappe. Like what? I guess Mbappe would get the number 9 because he's not getting Vinny 7. And where they're going to play Mbappe down the middle? Like, have we seen Mbappe play down the middle for a prolonged period of time? Never. So we don't even know if it works. I would hazard a guess that it doesn't.
Wait, that means what? You're on the same boat as me, because I've been telling the whole world, fam. I don't think Vinny and Mbappe work in the same team, fam.
They don't, unless one of them takes an L.
Yeah, it does. I'll be real. Like I've been saying it for years, because it's like, even when I look at Mbappe needs that like tactical, that freedom. Because even when you look at Mbappe, like throughout the years, whenever he was forced to play 9, was because, let's be real, Neymar was a better left winger than him. Messi was a better right winger than him. He had to play down the middle. He scored goals, like output machine, especially in that league. He scored goals, but he wasn't happy. Even his interviews and shit, he was like, I don't like having to play down the center, where now I have to play in like more congested areas, play with my back to goal. When out wide, you receive the ball facing play. Down the middle, that's not really the case unless it's like a counter or something. And the only time I've ever seen Mbappe cook is when you literally put him with like that false 9 profile, like that number 9 that occupies center half. So you look at him with Giroud, he cooked. You look at him with Benzema, when Benzema had that one tournament, he cooked. Then you look at him with Colo, he done well. You put him and Vinny, it's going to take something out of both their games. And I don't want to see like Vinny's game drop off, I'll be honest.
I think that Vinny needs to be the focal point of the attack, bro. He needs to be. Yeah, I mean, obviously Carlos said that he's the best 1v1 player in the world. I think he's the best player in the world. So bringing in Mbappe, to me, doesn't really make sense unless you're going to play him on the right. And we've seen him play on the right for France, but he doesn't do a job at centre forward for me. And also that means you change the formation, which means you lose something from Bellingham, because you can't play that formation that you're playing right now with Jude, Vinny, and Mbappe. Or does that mean you drop Rodrigo, and Rodrigo don't deserve to be dropped? Like, I just think bringing in Mbappe causes way more problems than it actually solves. Because Real Madrid's problem right now is that is not that they don't have an Mbappe. That's not their problem.
You know what it is? The whole Mbappe thing, it's so similar to when, like a few decades ago, when they signed Bex. When they signed
Mm.
Beckham, but like there was no plan to Beckham. Bro, they signed Beckham and Figo played on the right. And then it was like,
Yeah,
I
and he
remember
played
when
him inside right midfield.
like they literally had to come up with that there and then. And I always say, and I feel like the whole Beckham signing was just a commercial thing. Like it was just
It was.
he became available, and they were like, listen, like he's the star of English football. Like, who are we to say no to him? Yeah, especially during their Galactico period. But I remember, like, even when I see the interviews, it's like, even Figo was like, he was like, yo, like, he's like, when they told me Beckham was coming, I was looking in the mirror thinking, this guy only plays on the right. So,
Mm-hmm.
what going with me, yeah, and bearing in mind, everybody knows what happened with the whole Figo thing, how they took him off Barcelona and everything. So, with Mbappe, I think even if they do sign him, then I think it will be a similar case to Neymar and Messi, where I think one of them will turn around in 2-3 years' time and be like, listen, I'm not the face of this project. I want out. And I've always said, I think if they sign Mbappe, I think Vinny would leave in like 2-3 years' time, because it doesn't work having those two in the same team.
I don't think it does, and not for the better. Not for the better, man. Because there's no way of getting the best out of both of them in the same team. There's
Mm.
no way. There's no way of doing it because they both play in the same position, but they're very different profile of players. Mbappe's the scorer and Vinny's the creator. Do you know what I mean? So unless you're gonna play Mbappe on the right, it doesn't make sense. And then you don't get the best Mbappe on the right, depending on what you think the best Mbappe is. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the right because it would force him to get his head up a bit more. But he wouldn't enjoy that. I just think that it starts a problem that you just don't need it. Like, you know what I mean? You don't
Mm.
need it. Real Madrid are probably gonna win the league this season. And it's like, and then you're gonna bring him in, yeah, like to do what? It's not gonna make them better in terms of balance. Obviously, in terms of quality, depth of quality, adding an Mbappe to your squad automatically makes your team better. However, like, is it gonna be a net positive at the end of the day?
I don't think so. I think it's one of those ones where, like, on paper, your team looks better. Like, on
Mm.
paper, what going to, like, I don't know, new camp, and then you've got Vinny, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Bellingham. I think it looks like sometimes you don't need 11 nice names. You need three, but then you need like 8 players that like complement those 3 players, in it. It's just
Hmm.
at the moment I look at it and think like Bellingham has fitted in so well with Vinny, and then Vinny's always fitted in well with Rodrigo. With Vinny, it's like sorry, with Mbappe, because they both have shown, give me like positional freedom, let me roam. That's how you get the best out of me. But I'll be real, we saw that PSG project where they had 3 players in attack that also required positional freedom. Fam, that's
Hmm.
3 players out of the game.
Yeah.
You can't afford to have 3 players out of the game so they can do what they want to do. You can afford to like accommodate one, but accommodating two. And the thing is, like, this is the narrative that I see a lot of people try to throw at me whenever
But
I
you could
say that.
argue it's three because Bellingham needs accommodating now as well because he can't play with the freedom that he's playing with right now.
I think Bellingham at the moment, because he's playing like in behind strikers, I've always said in it, I feel like once Madrid sign a 9, Bellingham will just go back to like playing in a midfield 3, in it. That's what he'll do. But it's you know what it is with Mbappe, even if they sign him and they put him down the middle, he doesn't have that selflessness of a Giroud or a Benzema. Like he might bounce the ball off Vinny, but the thing is, both of them got an eye for goal, and it's like what
Yeah.
worked so well is the fact that Benzema was selfless, so he would feed Vinny. He would drift out wide to accommodate Vinny's spot when Vinny tucks inside. Mbappe, I don't think Mbappe, like that comes down to IQ for me. It's not something I can teach because like in-game situations are so different. Mbappe doesn't have that IQ for me where it's like, oh shit, if he tucks in, let me go out wide. If he goes forward, let me drop deep. Mbappe wants to score. Mbappe wants to be the main man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
Mbappe does. That's it. He, bruv, look, while I watch him play, that's what he does. He likes to run in straight lines, runs away from the ball, and he wants to get shots off, bro. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like the IQ is not there, and that's why for me, Vinny's better. And I wouldn't sacrifice Vinny for Mbappe, never, because to me it doesn't make sense. Because what Mbappe gives you in terms of goals, I'll just be like, all right, cool. Like I would make my main focus getting a number 9 that's going to add more goals instead of getting another player that plays in Vinny's position. Because to me, it doesn't make sense, innit? So It's a great problem to have if you're a Real Madrid manager. Like, how do I fit Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinny, and Mbappe into the same team? And the chances are you can't. You can't, innit? So Rodrigo gets dropped, or you have to change the formation, which then could upset the whole rhythm of the team. I don't see how it works, innit? I don't see how it works. I think they're lucky right now that Barcelona are rubbish, because I feel like that addition there could be the addition that won Barcelona the league if it was the old Barcelona, because it unsettles the team. You saw what happened with the Galacticos. They didn't win Jack. Do you know what I mean? It's just that they don't really have a real opposition right now. So I think they'll be able to get away with shoehorning Mbappe into a team, because they don't, Girona's the only real competition, and Atleti kind of, but not really.
I think, yeah, but then the question is, if Madrid will go in for him, but I think the reports that I read, which are they're going to go in for him for a far less offer, for a far less bid, it does make sense, because like season after season, they've upped their bid. I don't think they're going to do it for the third year in a row. And I think they're now looking at their team and thinking, like, goals, we've got that. Creativity, we've got that. Game control, we've got that. Squad depth, we've got that. Experience, we've got that. So the youth, we've got that. And I think they're now looking at Mbappe and just thinking, there was a time when we needed you. You never came. But the £100 million signing that they've made has shown I can score you the goals. I can do work in midfield. Like, Mbappe is just, he'll always be appealing. But it's just, the thing I like about Florentino Perez is even though like history shows he doesn't really swing that way, is he favors his footballing project over anything. And I don't think he'll disrupt his team to accommodate Mbappe. But where does Mbappe go then?
I can't lie, bro. If United was serious, they need to go in for him, because they need a face of the new project. They need a serious player in the attack, because we currently don't have one. In terms of where we are and where he is, it would make the most sense now to go get him. It would make the most sense for us to go get him, because when he comes in, automatically, he's the best. He's the best that we have, and we build the team around him in attack. That's what really we should be doing. Because when you look at, for instance, Liverpool don't have the money, and also they've got an overpowered attack. Obviously, we do need to get Champions League first, but saying that, you say that, do you know what I mean? I honestly believe that players, they over sensationalize how much they give a damn about missing out on Champions League for 1 year, bro. These men don't care, bro. Them man care about what's going into their bank account every month. That's what they care about, if we're being completely honest. Like, they'll say, oh yeah, I can't go somewhere that ain't got Champions League football. But if you believe in the project, you'll go there. Champions League makes it easier. However, do you know what I'm saying? We got Pogba and Zlatan with Europa League football. So, like, I don't think that that's a deal breaker. If the overall package is good enough, you could convince a player like that to come. You've already seen with Mbappe, if he was super ambitious and that, wanted to win the Champions League, he would have gone to Real Madrid years ago. What, did you really think he was going to win it with PSG? You weren't never going to win it there, bruv. So I don't think the Champions League would be a deal breaker for him, but I just don't think that Real Madrid is the career move for him, bruv. Not really. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. There's nothing he can achieve at Real Madrid that he'll ever get credit for. Nothing. Because they three-peated in the Champions League already. So if he goes to Real Madrid, no one's going to turn around and say, oh yeah, they done this because of him. Bro, they win leagues without you.